Hello there. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Just going to post online as I always do to say that I'm live, and then we'll be getting hunting. Safari Fortnite. We're on day 14, so that's what it seems to be. Maybe it'll be today. Fingers crossed. How are you doing? How has your weekend been? Alright. We are getting ready. How are we doing? How was our weekend? Thank you for bearing with me. We're nearly there. Just posting to say that I'm live. Excuse me. Well, hello there, Wormseye. Very well, thank you. I've had a great weekend, thanks, and I'll tell you about it just after I've done my posting. Glad you've had a great weekend. What's made it great, Wormseye? Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix for a start. My goodness, I wasn't even aware of that. I was so caught up in the other sport this weekend, what with the Euros and Wimbledon today. Wasn't even aware of the British Grand Prix going on. That's very exciting. Thank you for alerting me to that, Wormseye. Fantastic. And of course we had the Euros as well. That's brilliant. Emma Raducanu, unfortunately, just got knocked out from what I've seen, which is a real shame. Knocked out of Wimbledon. But hey, still. I'm sure Emma Raducanu's got plenty of exciting tournaments ahead of her. But yeah, going through on penalties yesterday for England. Very exciting about Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix. Just going to wait for my apps to update. Incredible. What a summer of sport. Hello there, Luke. How are you? How's your weekend been? Have you been enjoying some sport this weekend? There's been plenty of it going. Oh, I need to update my counter. There we go. How's your weekend been, Luke? Excellent. Right, let me just finish posting to say I'm online. Had a nice weekend. You enjoyed the sport, football and tennis. I know. Oh, I love Wimbledon. I've just seen Raducanu got knocked out of Wimbledon, but hey. So much to be proud of. So many more tournaments ahead of her, I'm sure. And the football, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, welcome everyone. Just posting as I always do to say I'm online. And then I'll be with you. So, in a minute's time. Hope we've all been enjoying the sport this weekend. I'm not the biggest sports person myself, but when the stakes are high, Wimbledon, the Euros, you know. Rani, good evening, very good to see you. Thank you for being here. Posting to say I'm live as I always do. You enjoyed the match yesterday, Ronnie? Very good. Yeah. Huh, exciting. Alright. Good. Okay. I believe we're done. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's do this. First of all, let's just get to our Kangaskhan Taurus area in the Fire Red Safari Zone. That's what we're going for here in Fire Red. Now, today, being day 14 of me streaming Safari Week, technically makes it Safari Fortnight. Are we going to finish Safari Week in a neat 2 weeks? Let's find out. Let's find out. And that's right, Netherlands, England in the semi-finals. Netherlands for finals, Ronnie. I'm not surprised to hear you say that, but let's see how things shape up. Hello there, Jake. Good to see you. How are we doing this fine Sunday evening? The weather's been crazy today in the UK. It's been raining so much, but now it's very nice. The sun came out. Really, really. Well, there have been so many seeds flying around. Has anyone else found this? Lots of seeds outside the window. It seems like plants trying to germinate now. Yeah. So yeah, the weather's been all over the place, and it's wreaked havoc with the tennis. In the Safari Zone, the weather is always clement. Let's hope... Oh, what's that? Chance of shiny coming in the forecast? I think so. Did I play this? Let me do it again. Good. Right. Tuesday, temperature is rising for literally 1 day. Okay. And the weather hasn't been too crazy where you are, Ronnie. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Yeah, for July, I mean, I don't know where the... what's been going on with the weather. Good. We're getting there. There's a little bit of setup required here. You've walked for Pokemon Go. Nice. Excellent. How far have you walked today, Ronnie? And where have you walked today? What were you aiming for in Pokemon Go today? Enlighten us. I'm very out of the loop with Pokemon Go. I remember in Malmö last year, it was Fennekin Community Day, and I love Fennekin. So I went... Ooh, random encounter in Emerald. I went... Yes, so it was Fennekin Community Day. I love Fennekin. I re-downloaded Pokemon Go. And the third Fennekin I encountered was shiny. And that was that. One day I will transfer that Fennekin, but I now have a shiny Fennekin in Scarlet as well. So you went to catch shinies, you didn't find any. And that's because you weren't watching my streams, Ronnie. Ronnie's luck, for anyone who's unfamiliar, has been absolutely crazy while watching my streams. So, yeah, let's hope that continues. Not only for Ronnie tonight, but for all of you watching. And I gotta say it, for me. Because we're now been hunting in Safari Week for twice as long as we've been supposed to, so to speak. Day 14 of Safari Week, an event where people shiny hunt in the Safari Zone, where the Pokemon can, of course, run away. Let's get as many encounters in as possible. Let's get started. So, my weekend has been a lot of fun. My brother is off to Sweden tomorrow. And he's been home this weekend, just so we can spend some time with him before he goes, because he's going for like 7 weeks. And it's also his birthday coming up, and so we celebrated that today, and it's been great. My brother and I have been playing Metal Gear Solid, which has been a tradition for the past like 10 years now. We played through the first one, the second one, on and off, and we're now approaching the end. We're basically at the end of the third one, but we've got the final bit to do. So that's been great fun. We enjoyed watching the Euros yesterday. We've enjoyed watching some Wimbledon today. Went out for dinner with my brother last night. Had some family over to celebrate my brother's early birthday. All the while, been having quite a productive time as well, because while the football was on, I was editing the vlog I'm making of Bologna, the special event that started off June here in the EU, because I commentate the Pokemon Video Game Championship Series as well. So that's been good. We're nearly there with the Bologna vlog, Bologna. And also, I've been working on a little graphic for Chazingdra Chats, my podcast, where talking to people in the Pokemon community, discovering the 6 Pokemon on their dream team. I'm excited to share that graphic with you all, analyse some of the data that we've got, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So it's been a very productive, but also a very fulfilling and fun weekend. So yeah, and a perfect way to cap it all off with all of you wonderful people here in the Safari Zone, where we keep going to find some kind of shiny. You finished your first attempt on the quarry and you failed miserably. Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Ronnie, but I hope it hasn't been too scary, hasn't been too horror, because yeah, I wouldn't play that game in a hurry myself for that reason. Yeah, how's everyone else's weekend been? I know I've heard about a couple of them. And as always, let's place our bets in chat as to what's going to shine. You know what? I'm going to go with Houndour. I know I tend to go with whatever's just appeared when I ask that question, but I'm feeling Houndour tonight. And I have encountered quite a few... I've been quite lucky with Houndour generally. Throughout my Pokemon career. So, who knows? Who knows? I've watched Inside Out 2. Glad you enjoyed it, Ronnie. Very good to hear. How did it hold up to the first one? Been brainstorming a few little questions for the chat tonight as well. And let's start off with... Let's go through each of the generations. And you have to say which game of the pair you played. Gonna finish up some work and lurk on your phone. Fair enough. Good luck there, Jake. So, Generation 1. Red or blue? Quick fire. For me, it's blue. How about for everyone else? Blue was the game I started with. My brother had red version. I had blue. We never had a yellow, actually. But I'd like to try yellow as well. Red or blue? For me, it's blue. And next, of course, gold or silver. For me, it's silver. This time wasn't my brother, but my good friend who also played Pokemon, who had gold. and later Crystal. But Silver and Generation 3. Actually, the first version I played was Ruby because a friend lent me his copy, but I'm more of a Kyogre fan. So Sapphire for me there. How about you all for the first 3 generations? For me, it's Blue, Silver, Sapphire. And in fact, generally, I tend to choose the second version mentioned in the pair. Come on, chuck it in the chat. Quick fire. Blue, Silver, Sapphire for me. Do I get a red? Anywhere? Do I get a gold? Do I get a ruby? And yeah, what do we think is going to shine first? I've called it as Houndour in Emerald. Don't know about the first generation, but Gold and Sapphire, you think, for you, Ronnie? Nice. Because Silver was my first, was the Generation 2 game I played. I, of course, have a soft spot for Lugia, but Ho-Oh has been growing on me. Such a cool Pokemon. And a great shiny. Your cool is Venonat, Ronnie. That would be cool. Failed a Nidorino and a Venonat last year when I wasn't streaming Safari Week. So Venonat would be a reclaim, which I would not complain about. What I would complain about is if my Game Boy on the right here, or any of them, ran out of battery just as we found a shiny. So plugging that in because it was on red. Alright. Tyler, hello. Yes, very well. Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well, my friend. How has your weekend been? We've just been talking about the version that we played in each pair. Started with, of course, generations 1, 2, 3. So for me it went Blue, Silver, Sapphire, or our favourites, I guess, of the two. Ronnie didn't play Generation 1, but Gold and Sapphire. But yeah, how was your weekend? I was just saying, I've been enjoying the sport this weekend. I've been enjoying hanging out with my brother this weekend, who came back to visit, and had some family over as well. So I had a really lovely time, and a productive one too. Got quite a bit of work done, actually, while the football was on. You haven't played Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ronnie. Interesting. So, what makes Gold your favourite then? You just prefer Ho-Oh to Lugia? In lightness. Now, let's move on to generations 4, 5, 6, shall we? And you might be noticing a little pattern emerging here for me, but for 4, 5, 6, for me, technically, actually, for 4 it would be Platinum. But if we're ignoring the sort of third version, which I think we are, we're just going with that original choice between 2, then it would be Pearl, White, and Pearly White, and Y. Pearl, White, Y. So I tend to go for that second one in the pair, but for you, Ronnie, it's Diamond, White, X. So you tend to mix it up, actually. How come sometimes you go for that first one, sometimes it's the second one? For me, I don't know, I like the fact, it seems like the first one in the pair tends to be more popular. And so going for the other one not only feels more special in a way, slightly more niche, but it also means that you're more in demand. You have more people you can trade with to complete the Pokédex if most people have bought that first version in the pair. And About Generation 4 variant, of course, because you now have your shiny Cyndaquil in Heart Gold, very exciting. And you like Hoenn, fair enough. Such a cool Pokemon. And appearing in the anime, in the very first episode. Love that bit of lore. You like Dialgamore, you like Reshiram, but wanted Solosis and X Xerneas. Yeah, Solosis. I'm a big fan of the Solosis line. I do, just sort of aesthetically, I prefer Reuniclus to Gothitelle. But in competitive Pokemon, Gothitelle sees far more play. I think Reuniclus is quite good in singles, actually. Quite bulky and stally. But of course, Gothitelle has Shadow Tag to trap people, or not people, trap Pokemon on the field, and not being able to switch out can put you at a huge advantage over your opponent. Swapped with black with your brother once. He likes Solosis as well, so wouldn't trade back. Oh no! But if you both had black and white, then at least you could trade between you, I suppose. Very cool. Trading with others wasn't something I was able to do too much, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we owned a link cable. And yeah, I think my brother and I, he was playing Pokemon when I wasn't, and then vice versa. I did trade with one Pokemon playing friend of mine, actually. Yeah, it always felt like this ethereal thing that was difficult to achieve trading. So I always find those trade evolutions still so exciting. You found black 2 instead of white 2. What do you mean you found black 2 instead of white 2, Ronnie? And you didn't have to... Oh, I see. You had to share the DS, I understand. Sharing a playthrough. It must be quite interesting, actually. I'm sure frustrating at points, but that could be an interesting challenge at some point. To stream or something, sharing a playthrough. Your weekend's been alright, Tyler. Shiny Badge Quest update. Nice. Caught Shiny Tailo, named after Pala from Fire Emblem. Not ideal, though, since next gym is Rock. Continuing search. Well, hey. I think you've just got to make it work, Tyler. Shiny Badge Quest, after all. I feel like you don't get too much choice over your finds. If you find a Shiny Tailo, you're going with that. But remind me which game you're doing a Shiny Badge Quest on? I feel like maybe you told me why at one point. But I might be wrong with that. Remind me what you're doing a Shiny Badge Quest on. And meanwhile, Ronnie and anyone else who wants to join in, let's move on to the most recent 3 generations. 7, 8, and 9. So for me, it would go Moon. Partly also, I go with the second in the pair because I tend to find I prefer the Pokemon that appear in the second paired version. But it would go Moon, it would go Shield, but then it would probably go Scarlet, actually. And that's partly because, actually, I prefer the Pokemon that can be found in that version. Like, I prefer Oranguru to Persimmon. Persimmon's a Violet exclusive. I prefer Skrelp to Clauncher. And Skrelp is a Scarlet exclusive. But also, with the Paradox Pokemon, even though I think they've done such a great job at making the future Paradox Pokemon cool and still colourful without just being, you know, titanium-clad robots. I do prefer the past to the future as a general thought, I guess. Having studied Latin and ancient Greek and ancient history at university, classical civilization, all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's actually Scarlet for me. So it's the second in the pair every time for me, apart from 9, where it's Scarlet. So, never shared a playthrough in the DS games or Fire Red Leaf Green. I've had both versions, one plays. Yeah, exactly. That's the ideal. Then you get to trade with each other, complete that Pokédex. I haven't completed a Pokédex since... I've only completed the Pokédex in Generation 8 and 9. Generations 8 and 9. So maybe I'll have to set myself the challenge of completing the Pokédex in all the games one day. I feel like Generation 1 is always a challenge, don't get me wrong. But Generation 1, of course, the easiest. And Generation 2, doable as well. More difficult, of course, more Pokemon, but doable. But then... Generation 3, I mean, very difficult to do these days, with various discs and games being out of circulation. That does add to the lure of doing that, though, I've got to say. So, Sunshield Violet for you, Ronnie. Interesting. Interesting. And again, why have you gone for those options, Ronnie? Sun, Shield, Violet. Badge Quest is in Y. You trade him a route from X to be starter. Pidgey route 2, Taylor route... Oh, I see. Yeah, Rock is going to be a challenge. Got 2 flying types. Exciting though, I love a shiny badge quest. Looking forward to all sorts of quests that I want to get started on after we find a Safari Zone shiny. And it could be today. You don't have 2 DSs. Yes, no, I understand. That's why you couldn't trade Ronnie. And next time, the legendary. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, for Sword and Shield, it was the Galarian Ponyta. Makes sense. Makes sense. Unicorn regional variant. They're on to a winner with that one. Great idea. Now, here's another question for you all. If you were to decide what the next pseudo-legendary would be, so a Pokemon that appears very late in the Pokedex, your Dratinis, your Larvatars, all that, Frigibax, Beldum, Bagan, Gibble, Dino, Goomy, Jangmo-o, Dreepy. Yeah, all of those. If you were to decide on what the next pseudo-legendary would be in terms of typing, what would you go for? Now, interestingly, only 2 of them are not dragon types in Beldum and Larvitar. What typing would you choose? I personally would love to see Bug Dragon. If it were a dragon, but then it doesn't have to be a dragon. So you can let your imagination run wild as to what typing of pseudo-legendary you'd like to see. Your boyfriend never follows the spoilers. I'm like, your boyfriend then. Disappointed he bought Shield. Oh, how come? I never look at spoilers either. I think that's the best way to be. You only get to enjoy a brand new game once. It's an age where there's so much information out there. it's nice to experience it for yourself, I think. But when it comes to the decision of which version of a Pokemon generation you're going to get, sure, you've got to do your research. Oh, he's not such a fan of Galarian Ponyta. Well, that's a shame. Galarian Farfetch'd is in Sword. Okay, so a fan of Galarian Farfetch'd. Evolving into Surfetch'd, of course. That is a cool Pokemon. So, what type combination would you want to see out of a new pseudo-legendary, everyone? A new, very powerful Pokemon appearing late in the Pokedex. For me, if it were to be a dragon, I would say Bug Dragon. Holding out for that. I love that in Generation 9 we've had an Ice Dragon. Been wanting them to do an Ice Dragon Pokemon that isn't just a legendary in Kyurem for such a long time. So as soon as I saw... In fact, there's a trainer near Glaciado Mountain. A dragon tamer, I think, who runs an Arctibax. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh my goodness, I have to have that on my team. But anyway, in terms of a new one, so yeah, Bug Dragon, but then if it weren't Dragon, let me see, a normal would be interesting for a pseudo-legendary. I feel like Dragon is so baked into the pseudo-legendary typings at the moment, or has been over the years, that it would almost be disappointing if they didn't stick with Dragon for that. But it's fun to think about anyway. Fire Fairy, of course, would be cool. Combination we haven't had yet. I would be pretty confident. I would bet that we would see Fire Fairy as a type combination in Generation 10. I just get that feeling. Generation 10. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. A game running for 10 generations like that. Incredible. The depth that Pokemon offers. Anyway, pseudo-legendary typings. Yeah, it could be Fire Fairy, as I say. Maybe I'll go with that. Maybe I'd want to see either a Bug Dragon or a Fire Fairy pseudo-legendary. How about you guys? What typing would you want to see out of the equivalent of Dratini, Larvitar, Beldum, Bagan, Gibble, Dino, Goomy, Jangmo-o, Dreepy, and Frigibax? Poison Ice. Ooh, that's a good suggestion, Tyler. Yes. Yeah, I was getting excited about Poison Ice as a combination the other day on stream. Yeah. Also, because the Poison would make fighting neutral in that matchup. You'd still take super effective from ground, but you could hit it back with super effective with your ice coverage. You'd take super effective from psychic. Still take super effective from fire. And steel and rock. Ice Poison would be really interesting. Right, Bug Dragon, yeah. There are a couple of Pokemon that could be seen as Bug Dragon already. What with Yanmega and Flygon, etc. As a reminder, our targets this Safari week, or Safari fortnight, which it now is, being day 14, without a shiny, more than 3 times over odds. Our targets are Ledyba in Emerald, Pinsir in Leaf Green, Kangaskhan and Tauros in Fire Red, and Larvitar in Soul Silver. Would any of them be captures anyway? No one knows. That is the risk you run hunting in this fire zone, because they can run away. Now, here's a question. If you were a gym leader, what challenge would you have in your gym? You probably thought I was going to ask what type you'd represent, didn't you? But no. What sort of challenge would you want in your gym? I mean, the sky's the limit with this, right? We've had quizzes before, we've had sliding ice puzzles, we've had that ESP, Emotion Spectrum. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but I remember for Tulip's Gym and Arfanada in Scarlet and Violet. We've had Boulder, Pushing Puzzles, Generation 2, for example. What do you all reckon? We've even had Catching Fire Pokemon in Generation 8, I remember that. I remember the... in Shield, you have an Ice type gym, which you don't in Sword. And I remember that puzzle, trying to work out how to get to the other side through the snowstorm. That was really cool. There was also in maybe the Ghost Gym, which also was a Shield exclusive rather than Sword. In Generation 8, you had some kind of big, almost... Yeah, it was a ball maze kind of puzzle, I feel like, that you were tilting around trying to get the ball to fall into the hole. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think an addition to that question is what's everyone's favourite gym challenge that there's been so far. So what sort of challenge would your gym have? And also, what's your favourite that has been introduced in the games? This is my favourite from the games. I think I can't exactly remember it now, but the Ghost massive sort of tilting ball maze puzzle was such a good concept for a gym challenge, I'm going to say that. Then in terms of what my own gym challenge would be, can you imagine if there was a gym challenge finding a shiny? You're there for potentially days, or in my case, 2 weeks, potentially more, trying to find a shiny before you can challenge the gym. They wouldn't do that, but there are no rules in this version. You can say whatever you want. For me, I think there'd be some kind of quiz. I'll have a quiz. I like what the Indigo Disc did with battling. Of course, all double battles feels a bit more like official competitive Pokemon. I probably want something like that. And genuinely difficult trainer battles too. Maybe I wouldn't allow healing before fighting the gym leader, before fighting me actually. Although, I'd want it to be a fair fight. I don't know. You weren't a fan of the Ghost Puzzle from Shield, Ronnie. That's a shame. I think I'm remembering it correctly. Yeah, I love that. Fair enough, though. What was your favourite gym puzzle, Ronnie? And Jake, Always thought a flying type gym with Tate and Liza's. Now, what is Tate and Liza's gym all about? Was it warp panels? In which case, yeah, that would make sense. Hard to choose, same for your own gym. Yeah, it is hard. You can think about it. Those of us who are in the Discord community, Chazindra's Chocolate Factory, and there's a link to that below. If anyone here is not part of that, it would be a pleasure to see you there. You'll have seen Jacrepid posting at the tournament he was playing this weekend. Had a 2-3 record, not bad at all. Good to get his 2025 season started. Can't believe I'm saying that. We're in the 2025 season already. I always found, come the new year, that, you know, there are always those times where you're writing the year and you mistakenly put the year before because it's a new year, you're getting used to it. But with Pokemon, with the new season starting in July, by the time 2025 rolls around, it feels like it should almost be 2026 already. You know what I mean? Very strange. So, buttons, move panel. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes, you changed the direction in which you're sliding with the buttons. Yeah, that was cool. Oh, and do you remember the Trick House in Generation 3? That was so much fun. New puzzles each time. I'm going to try and remember each of those puzzles. I have plans of doing Lille in October this year, Ronnie. Cool. Hope you can make a weekend out of that. Hope you have a great time. Buttons move the trainers as well. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yes, I remember now. Because, yeah, I think in Ruby and Sapphire, it was slightly different, the gym puzzle, to the gym puzzle in Emerald. In Ruby and Sapphire, it was that, and then Emerald might have just been warp panels. I'm not sure. Right, let's plug this in. Good. Yeah, the Trick House. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in if you're just joining. Yes, Safari Fortnite. 14 days in the Safari Zone. Nary a shiny to report. Thank you all so much for being here and bestowing upon me your shiny luck. Provisions have been running low, as I said in my post. Hope you've all been bringing them. Because we need to stay sustained while we're hunting. There we go. Yeah, and I've just been thinking about the Trick House in Generation 3. The one that updates with a new puzzle every time you beat a gym. That was a lot of fun. And I'm going to see if together we can remember each of the puzzles. So I feel like the first one was cut. Maybe it was just cut. Was it always linked to the gym badge? No, it can't have always been linked to the gym badge. Number 2. There was a slidey arrow panel one. There was a quiz one. There was a rock smash one, perhaps. Oh, there was one with doors that sort of one switch operated 2 sets of doors, I feel like. So I had to work out the right combination. What else was there? Anyone else who can remember other challenges from the Trick House? Chuck it in chat. We've been talking about which of each of the paired versions we had or played when we were younger. Or our favourites. We've been talking about if you could come up with a new version of Dratini, Larvitar, Beldum, etc., Bagan, those Pokemon that appear late in the Pokedex that are very powerful when fully evolved. What typing would you choose? We've been talking about what your gym challenge would be and also what your favourite gym challenge has been from the games. What's the food for thought? This week in Chazingdra Chats, the podcast that I host, will be an interview with Freya Pierce coming out, trading card gamecaster. Had a very inspiring and illuminating talk with Freya, so I'm looking forward to you all hearing that. And if you're a fan of the podcast, thank you very much indeed. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm working on some graphics, as I was saying today, for the podcast, which I'm looking forward to you all seeing. If you're new here, welcome. You are very welcome here. Pleasure to have you. Do chuck in how your weekends have been into the chat, if you haven't answered already. Has the weather been as crazy elsewhere in the world as it's been in the UK this weekend? We've had such heavy rain this weekend, but also some glorious sunshine. So yeah, all over the place. Real mix. There we go. I've been enjoying the sport this weekend as well. I've been keeping up with the Grand Prix, the tennis, the Euros. Got the Olympics coming up soon as well. My goodness. So much going on. Summer of sport. I personally am into sport when the stakes are higher, generally. So exactly like all of these events that we've got going on around the world this summer. Meanwhile, does anyone have a favourite route from the Pokemon games? I know that's a very big question. There are so many, and quite a few that are easier to forget. But is there one that really jumps out in your mind? I really like the, I think it's Route 119, which goes up to Fall Tree City in Generation 3. One where you find Feebas. Always an exciting route, that. The chance of the Feebas. Such a rare Pokemon. Six tiles where it can appear. But sometimes change. But 6 tiles out of however many water tiles on the route. Absolutely crazy. But makes it so good when you find it. Feels amazing. So that one jumps out at me. What other routes? There's got to be one from Johto. What routes jump out at me from Johto? Ooh, the route that has Mount Mortar on it. That's a great one. I love any location in Pokemon that isn't compulsory, like Mount Mortar. There we go. Tongue twister. But has treasures hidden within it, like Tyrogue, that you can get in Mount Mortar. The Dragon Scale, which you need for evolving Kingdra over here, my favourite. Hello, the three of you. How are we doing? Excellent. That one jumps out at me. What other routes jump out at me? We could choose one for each game if you want as well. That, the defog route on the way to, is it Celestic Town in Generation 4? Fond of that one as well. Anyway, Sam, hello, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. How are you doing? How's your weekend been? A really interesting point you make here. Route 48 in Johto. Stuck hunting shiny Farfetch, but still great with the Pokemon Center and the Safari Zone so close. Yes, I see, yes. I was just trying to work out where Route 48 was, but yes, it is the one just south of the Johto Safari Zone, right? There's some really good finds there. Shiny Farfetch. Good luck for the shiny Farfetch to hunt. Oh, very cool. Very cool shiny. So many great shinies. So many great Pokemon to obtain. Great that you're doing that. Good luck for that. Your favourite has to be the one for the Ice Path in Gen 2. Spent hours there training your red Gyarados. That's a nice connection to that route. Yeah. Oof. I remember that route up to the Ice Path as well. I think another of my favourites in Johto has to be the route south of Blackthorn City that connects you back to the very first route in the game. It's so long. You can access that other side of the Dark Cave on that route where you can find Wobbuffet. There's that little lake where you can find Dratini if you're lucky. Also, I love Skarmory. Yeah, fond memories of that route. Loads of training there as well, I think. Because Claire's pretty difficult, so training there. Any route that you spend a long time on, I think, is going to give you a special connection to it. Just like you've said there, Jake. Yeah, spending hours training. That grind, I love that in Pokemon. Other routes are there? Thinking to more modern games. Thinking to Sword and Shield. Spent a long time on the route that has the daycare on it, of course. I know there's one in the wild area, but there's also that route. It's been such a while since I played that game. I can't quite remember names of the towns, but maybe just east of the... I can't remember, but it's fairly early on in the game. I thought the mines in Generation 8 were so cool, by the way. The Galar Mine numbers 1 and 2. Really cool music. Cool Pokemon. I remember the gems in there. Yeah, love that. Also, you can find Applin on that daycare route in Generation 8. I love Applin. Have we all seen that the Diplin plush is coming? Recently announced on the Poker Shopper online accounts. Dangerous accounts follow. Dangerous accounts follow. If you're trying to save money. It alerts you to things that are being released soon. But I'm not sure that route in Generation 8 would be my favourite from that game. Of course, you got the DLC as well. I love the bamboo forest kind of area in Generation 9, where the fighting Team Starbase is situated. Already run out of steps on Fire Red. And having to find the base of Chi Yu hidden away. Very cool. Any other favourite routes from the games? Tyler, you're not so sure about routes, but you're fond of Casseroy Lake and Paldea. Yeah, that's really cool, really cool. Yeah, very mystical area. And you've got the Soccerat Trail with all the yellow leaves, that route where Ting Lu's base is as well. Oh wait, wrong area, Fire Red. That's going to waste some of our steps. But oh well. Some point maybe I'll hunt for Dratini in the Safari Zone. I'll have to fish for that. Yeah, Castle Royal Lake is... also, I remember... when I first strayed there, when I was far too underleveled to take on that bit of the game. But, you know, it's open world, so we just explore and see what we find. Seeing a few Tatsugiri at once, and they were all different colours, and I thought, oh my goodness. Well, actually, no, I didn't have the presence of mind to think this at the time. It was only later that I thought, wait a second, was one of those shiny? And I just waltzed on out of there. I don't think they were. They were just the regular 3 colours of Tatsugiri. But I remember really kicking myself that I might have missed a shiny there. Welcome in, everyone, if you're just joining. We're here in the Safari Zone. We're more than 3 times over odds. And no, we don't have a shiny even yet. But maybe that will all change tonight. Safari Week is long gone. We're still here until we get one. Safari Fortnight right now. Given it's day 14 of hunting here. Let's see what we find. So, what about the rushing water route in Hoenn? That was quite unique. Yeah, you mean with the currents. Yeah, especially where the west of Pacific Log Town, where that Reggie sort of unlocking area is. That was very exciting. Maybe that's the main route with the currents, I think, Jake. And there might be a couple more where there's a bit of a current. But yeah, very good answer. Very good answer. I love the Reggies. Such cool lore behind the Reggies. There are various questions I've asked on these streams. And obviously not everyone was here for when I asked each of them. So if anyone hasn't yet answered the question which I've asked before about which legendary group lore do you find the... Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was, what's your favourite piece of lore from the Pokemon games? And for me, yes, the answer was the Reggies. Learning or having to read Braille, work out that you need to specific Pokemon in your party, work out how to open each of the doors, the rocks that end up having an entrance. Ah, so cool. But anyone else who wasn't in whichever stream I asked that question, what's your favourite piece of lore from the Pokemon games? So now, more than 25,000 encounters in. Oh, that's a big number, isn't it? Very big number. There's no telling how high that number will go before we get a shiny. All entirely random. The odds are 1 in 8,192. And it could be the next encounter that we find a shiny. It could be in 1,000 encounters, it could be more. But we are so over odds now that it could be any moment. It could be any moment at any point, of course, but always have my eye on a Kangaskhan when it appears, because shiny Kangaskhan would be quite a find. Sam, since you're new in the chat and you're clearly a shiny hunter, you're going for Farfetch right now. What's your background with Pokemon, Sam? Are you mainly a shiny hunter? Are you a casual player? Do you set yourself challenge runs? Do you do any competitive? Do you have a favourite Pokemon, a favourite shiny? All of these basic questions that we need to ask to get to know a trainer. Let us know. Is anyone else shiny hunting alongside tonight's stream? Was anyone else doing Safari Week, and how did it go for them? Or what is everyone doing? What is everyone else doing alongside tonight's stream? And of course, place your bets as to what is going to shine first. Ronnie's gone for Venonat. I'm thinking Houndour in Emerald. I'd happily take any of the targets that we get in this area of Emerald. As you have seen, they're all so cool. And I love the idea of finding Johto Pokemon in Generation 3. So, alongside Ledibur, our target, there's Sunkern, there's Miltank, there's Teddy Ursa, there's Pineco, there's Apom, Houndour, might be one more, but also cool. Hoot Hoot, that's it. Yeah, all really cool targets. You're doing a lot of things since you swap a lot between games and things. Are you doing any shiny hunting tonight, Ronnie? Gonna try and get more of that shiny luck from my stream. Because it always seems to come through. So, you are mostly shiny hunting and you're a VG judge. Oh, okay. I'm sure you are much better at playing than you think you are, Sam. But that's great. So, are you NA or EU based? Is there a chance that we'd have been in an event together? Because I am a caster here in EU for Pokemon. So very cool to hear that you're a judge. Might we have overlapped at any particular event? And no shiny answer for you today, Ronnie. Fair enough. And your current guess is Ledibur. Ooh, thanks, Tyler. Thank you for guessing my target there. Would love to find shiny Ledibur. To be honest, I would take most things at this point. Hello, Sabrina. Sam's partner. Welcome to the chat. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you've been having a good weekend, and you've said you're also watching the stream. Well, thank you so much. Wonderful to have support from you both. Sending all the shiny light to us both, even though you're sat in the same room as Sam. That's wonderful that you're tuning in together from the same room. Hugely appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying having the chat in surround sound, I guess, given that you're in the same room. Are you also a shiny hunter, Sabrina? What's your sort of story with Pokemon, Sabrina? Sam, you're in the UK. Oh, wow. Great. So, probably we have been at an event together at some point. Exciting. Well, I hope to get to meet you in person at some point. You constantly click fake out on Psychic Terrain. Well, hey! The fact that you know you do that is more than halfway to rectifying that. It'd be worse if you didn't know that was a problem. Of course, Psychic Terrain blocks priority moves, and you can fake out anything that isn't grounded, of course, Sam. So sometimes it is worth it. I have the chat open, of course, so I can see what's being said, but I also have to operate my keyboard in order to update the counter. And if I click the wrong button, then I'm just typing gobbledygook into the chat. So if I press enter at any point, you'll be able to see my unintelligible misclicks, so to speak. What are our favourite Pokemon, Sam and Sabrina? Chuck 'em in. Also favourite Shinies. There we go. You are heading out, Tyler. No worries. And thank you. Very good point about staying hydrated. Enjoy the rest of your day, Tyler. Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much, my friend. See you very soon. You saw me hosting at EUIC. Cool. Mine was amazing. You're a casual player. Love playing the new games together. Pretty much a Pokemon noob. You love Mimikyu. I was all very succinctly summarised, Sabrina, so thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed your time at EUIC in London. A lot of fun, that event. A lot of fun. Yeah, all of the international events are so... I mean, all of the events are incredibly exciting, but the international events where so many people come together from across the world. And you have, you know, congregations of trainers who aren't just competitive. Yeah, always very special events. You're a casual player, cool. Well, Pokemon offers so much. I too am a casual player alongside being a caster, somewhat of a competitor, as well as Shiny Hunter. I just love it all, really. This game offers so much. You love playing the new games together. Yeah, that's always a special experience, isn't it? Experiencing brand new Pokemon games for the first time. You love Mimikyu, yeah. Very cool Pokemon. Great ability as well with Disguise. Ghost Fairy. Such an interesting combination. A great concept for a Pokemon. Obviously, we all want to know what's under Mimikyu's rag. But maybe it'd be so terrifying. We'd rather we didn't know. I feel like that will never be revealed. Because that's Mimikyu's whole thing, isn't it? Always a pleasure to meet a, in your own words, Pokemon noob there, Sabrina. Hope you're enjoying what you're discovering about Pokemon and the franchise. Now, let's have another question, shall we? So currently, the Zubat line, I believe, remains the only poison flying types in the entire series of all more than 1,000 Pokemon. If you were to design another poison flying type that weren't a bat, what would it be? Poison flying suits a bat so perfectly, of course. But plenty more options, I'm sure. What else could you have? Some kind of flying snake-based Pokemon, or you could have sort of a poisonous insect. Of course, it could then be bug, but not necessarily. So we've been streaming for about an hour so far, and what do we start on? We started on, I think, 24,606. So we're now approaching 1,000 encounters so far. So pretty similar to normal. We may well do just over 2,000, like 2,300 or something encounters today. We'll have to see. But yeah, if you were to design another poison flying type, what would it be? You could even do like a Pokemon that's based on some kind of wall plane or something? Fighter. Or like Gliscor. Interesting if that also had a poison typing to its name. Ground flying. I'd love to know a bit more about the backstory of Gligar and Gliscor, actually. What specifically they're based on, because ground flying is such an interesting combination. Almost paradoxical combination. But I think those almost paradoxical combinations are too tempting not to make happen, you know what I mean? If you just joined, then welcome. Pleasure to see you, as always. Thanks so much for being here. As we remain in the Safari Zone, as I said in my post, my provisions are dwindling, so I hope you've brought some snacks for us all to share. Hope you brought all your shiny luck as well. I've got my next podcast episode with Freya Pierce coming out this week, who is a trading card gamecaster. Looking forward to you all hearing that episode. A great, inspiring chat with Freya. Episodes drop every Wednesday. 25,400. Crazy. Now, I did do Safari Week last year, but I wasn't streaming. Found Shiny Nidorino and Shiny Venonat, both fails. I mean, Nidorino is a pretty difficult capture, but Venonat should be pretty easy. But no. So let's see if the Shiny we find this time will be a capture. And yeah, Safari Week is over, but want to keep going until we find a Shiny, because I just feel wrong to end Safari Week without one. Even though I've got so many more quests and things planned. I've got the Scarlet and Violet DLC, specifically for Violet, so Teal Mask and Indigo Disc, untouched. Ready to do some kind of challenge run of. I'm planning out a Pokemon Silver Dream Team quest, not Soul Silver, but the original Silver. Looking forward to that. All sorts of shinies that I want to hunt, as well as challenges I want to set myself. Trying to beat certain games with only one Pokemon, things like that. First, we've got to find a shiny in the Safari Zone. So, Brina, Mimikyu and Jessie's story in the anime. I'm actually not too familiar with the anime. So, could you fill me in? Fill everyone in the stream in on Mimikyu and Jessie's story in the anime. Interested here. And you've played from Platinum on and off, but definitely not as good at playing or with as much knowledge as others. Well, that's fine. We've got to start somewhere. Started with Platinum, really interesting game to start with. So did you choose Piplup, Chimchar, or Chikorita? Chikorita. Suddenly thought about Generation 2 there. Probably because I just mentioned my Pokemon Silver Dream Team quest. Piplup, Chimchar, Chikorita. Of course I mean Piplup, Chimchar, or Turtwig. All very good options. What other Pokemon games was everyone's firsts here? I think for me it was Blue, but I was a bit young at that point to fully appreciate Pokemon. My brother had Red. It was Pokemon Silver where I really got into it. What is everyone's favourite elemental stone evolution? Now, of course, we're not just talking Firestone, Thunderstone, Waterstone. There's Ice Stone, there's Dust Stone, there's Shiny Stone, there's Dawn Stone. Interesting in how Shiny Stone these days kind of sounds like it's for evolving Shinies. But no, it evolves, for example, Roselia into Roserade, Togetic into Togekiss, I believe. Sunstone, Moonstone. Togekiss, of course, for you, Ronnie. Absolutely, Togekiss, your favourite Pokemon. Oh, very tough question. I ask these questions, and I think, wow, I'm a hard quiz master, hard question master. I really ask some head-scratching questions. I do like Frostlass. Snoring into Frostlass, specifically female. I'm a big fan of. Got all the evolutions as well, of course. Ooh, I like Misdreavus into Miss Magius. Also Mocha into Hunchcrow, actually. Sort of a Gem 4 version exclusive pairing there. Misdreavus and Pearl, Murkrow in Diamond, and same goes for the remakes. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Have we had I've just thought of this. Have we had any Pokemon post Gen 1 who evolve using a Moonstone? I'm sure we have. But I can't think of any. Oh, Delcatty. Skitty into Delcatty. Was that the only one, though? Generation 4. Generation 5. Well, surely in Generation 5. Did Munna evolve with a Moonstone, maybe? That's ringing a bell. Yeah, exactly, Sam, yeah. That's what I just thought. So I assume it probably did. And then Floette evolves into Florges with a shiny stone, I believe. Florges is such an interesting Pokemon name. It sounds more like a plural noun just because that S on the end. Like more than one Florge. Very cool though. And the different colours you get for its flowers. I remember in Scarlet and Violet when you get those outbreaks, occasionally, still, even though I've completed the Pokedex, I'll see an outbreak with a question mark and I'll think, what? What am I missing? But of course it's going to be one of the other colours that I haven't obtained yet of Flabébé, etc. Or there's another thing it can be as well. Basically just various forms, various colours of things like Basculin. Red stripe / blue stripe / white stripe Basculin. The white stripes Basculin. Yeah, Munna is a Moonstone evolution running, yes. Yeah, I thought so. But other than that, I feel like there haven't been any further Moonstone introductions. Even though with the fairy type it would make sense. Seven Basculegion got a story to tell. Yeah, Basculegion. Such a cool concept. Basculin trying to get back to their birthplace, I think it is. Basculegion is imbued with those souls. Very cool concept. Here's a question. This is a more quick-fire one. Blossom or Sunflora? Both grass types introduced in Generation 2, and of course both evolved from their previous forms with a Sunstone. Blossom or Sunflora? Blossom for you, Ronnie. It's quite tough. I might say Sunflora, you know. I think Blossom's really cool. Great idea for an evolution from Gloom. But I've always thought that Sunflora was... I've always had a soft spot for it. Because that whole line is new. I think when I played through Generation 2, it just had that more mystique for me. Also, when I spoke to Shay on the podcast, Chazingdra chats that I do, he made the very good point that you cannot look at a Sunflora and be unhappy. Sunflora just brightens your day, whatever mood you're in. It's just so happy. Beaming sunflower Pokemon. So I think Sunflora for me, but yeah, Blossom or Sunflora. So, Sunflora for you, Sabrina. Sunflora stats. Leave something to be desired, Jay. Yeah. True, but we can just go with design. We can work with design rather than stats. Sunflora for you, Sam. Welcome into the stream, everyone, if you're just joining. I just posed the question, quick-fire question, Sunflora or Blossom? Grass types introduced in Generation 2. Both evolved with Sunstone, of course. So let's keep up on that trend. Now I'll ask... Well, I'll ask one that I've just mentioned. Mismagius or Honchkrow? Mismagius or Honchkrow? As I said, Mismagius for me, I love Mischievous. Finding it only in Mount Silver at the end of Generation 2, so exciting. Mismagius, I love the whole vibe of that Pokemon. Wandering Mage, very exciting. But Honchkrow, very cool as well. I love Honchkrow's shiny. Mismagius or Honchkrow? Got Mismagius for you, Ronnie. Blossom is the first Alolan form in your head canon. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That Hoolering Blossom would make sense to be in Alolan form. Yeah, Mismagius or Honchkrow, everybody. First Chansey I think we've encountered tonight in Leaf Green. I know it's a 1%, but we still tend to get more than that. Mismagius for you, Sam. Nice. Any Honchkrow voters in chat? Are we all on the Mismagius train? Don't mess with the head Honchkrow. Exactly, Jake. It is a very cool name for a Pokemon, Honchkrow. The head Honchkrow. Okay, interesting. Now let's do... Oh yeah. This is an interesting one. These are both Dawnstone evolutions, Frostlass or Gallade. Frostlass or Gallade. Totally different Pokemon. For me, I think it's Frostlass. Ice is my favourite type. I think Ice Ghost is such a cool combination. No pun intended. But of course, Psychic Fighting is a really cool combination too. And Gallade it's done really well in some competitive tournaments. Regulation Set F in particular. Trick Room Sweeper. But yeah, Frostlass for me probably... Frostlass for you, Rani. And you chose Piplup for Generation 4, Sabrina. You probably choose Chikorita. Do you mean Turtwig? Because of course Chikorita was my mistake. Chikorita being a Generation 2 first partner Pokemon rather than Generation 4. But no, you're a lot of plants and a plant vibe. Well, Chikorita makes a lot of sense for Generation 2 at least. But yeah, Piplup was my first partner in Generation 4 too. So, the Jessie story. Yes, I'm looking forward to learning more about this. I optimistically check every Kangaskhan, but of course, hasn't been shiny yet. Jessie and Mimikyu made friends, and Mimikyu's disguise gets damaged, hides in a paper bag while Jessie sews it back together, and it's just a cute friendship. Wow, that is cute. That's very cute. Got to show Mimikyu all the love we can. It's got to have that confidence to reveal its true form. We'd all love to see it, but will we ever? Not so sure. No worries about the late replies, Sabrina. Not Turtwig, but Chikorita. Yeah, well, that was my mistake for introducing Chikorita to the conversation. So anyway, anyone else an opinion on Frostlass versus Gallade? Which do you prefer? Both Dawnstone evolutions, of course. Or indeed Mismagius versus Honchkrow, or indeed Sunflora versus Blossom. And if not, the next one I want to ask... Let's go back to Generation 1 for this one. All of the potential Firestone evolutions. So, Flareon, Ninetales or Arcanine? Flareon, Ninetales, or Arcanine? For me, it's Ninetales. Got my Vulpix up there. Salar. Hello, Salar. I love foxes. In terms of Detective Pikachu, where they each have, it seems like a Generation 1, fairly small partner Pokemon, Vulpix is definitely my answer for that. And also a Pokemon I'd want to have as a pet, I think. So yeah, definitely Ninetales for me. But how about you? Flareon, Ninetales, or Arcanine? Glade versus Frostlass is Sophie's choice. It's difficult, Jake, but if you had to choose one, let us know. Wow, I really need to be better at hydrating, don't I? Ninetales for you too, Ronnie, and Arcanine for Sam. Good to have some variety in there. Yeah. By the way, everyone, if you are enjoying the stream, please remember to give it a like. Really, really helpful. The more engagement, the better, really. So if you can and you're enjoying it, please do. Also, drop a subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Would very much appreciate that. I've got so much content that I can bring you all, and I'm looking forward to bringing you all. For example, the vlog I made of Bologna. Were you at Bologna, Sam? Were you judging at Bologna? I was making a vlog of that and looking forward to releasing that. It's nearly ready. It's nearly edited and good to go. As well as Chazingdra Chats, my podcast. You've got these streams, you've got the vlogs, and I want to branch, give some other content a go too, so do stay tuned for that. I've got all my socials linked below if you want to keep up with me outside of everything I'm doing content-wise. And also my Discord community. It'd be a pleasure to see any of you in there, where we can continue the chats outside of the streams. Talking about Pokemon, sharing our finds, sharing the adventures we're having, the shinies that we find. As people in the chat like Jake and Ronnie can attest to, we have a fun old time in there, so it would be a pleasure to see you in the Discord community. Got my Patreon linked below as well, where you can support me as a content creator, and you get access to bonus Chazingdra Chats content. Otherwise, unheard material, I ask, it's called the Rapidash round, I ask bonus questions of the guests. So feel free to check that out. There's all sorts to get involved in, all sorts. There's all linked in the description below. And you're going for Ninetales, Sabrina, as well. Coming back to that question. And Glade for you, Jake, but it is a tough choice. Yes, that's why I asked it. We're here for the tough choices. Okay, let's move on to the Thunderstone, Generation 1, which I believe is only Raichu or Jolteon. Is that right? Anything else? Magnemite level up, I'm pretty sure. Voltorb level up. I think that's it, other than Zapdos. So Raichu or Jolteon. I think for me it's Jolteon. The first EV evolution I ever went for was Flareon. But yeah, interesting Jolteon too. Really cool shiny as well. Raichu for you, Ronnie. I know that if Casey were in the chat, he'd be voting for Raichu. Favourite Pokemon for Casey. Due to the Lieutenant Surge storyline in the anime and Ash's Pikachu ultimately managing to beat that Raichu without needing to evolve. Anyone else? Raichu or Jolteon? Sam, Jolteon, because Pikachu is perfect as it is. Very good answer. Yes. Our mascot Who we love so dearly, Pikachu. I remember finding Pikachu in Viridian Forest. Back in Generation 1, and then of course in Fire Red Leaf Green. Rare encounter. Always exciting when it happens. Jolteon, because it's the best bug type in Generation 1. Yes, of course. Jolteon can learn the bug move. Pin Missile. Probably uses it just based on its stats to the best effect in that game. Or is it Twin Needle? Probably both. Or no, maybe Twin Needle is a signature of Beedrill. Yeah, there aren't too many damage-dealing bug-type moves in Gen 1. Alright, let's move on to the Waterstone then. So, Vaporeon, Poliwrath. There's got to be at least one more Waterstone evolution in Generation 1. What am I forgetting? There are so many. Starmie, thank you, Wormseye, thank you. I do like Starmie. So, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Starmie. I think... Oh, yeah, Cloyster as well. Good shout, Ronnie. And Cloyster is a water-ice type. And I do like ice. But I'm going to say Starmie. I've got more of a connection to Starmie. Starmie was kind of the Pokemon I first sort of accidentally explored competitive with. Not in an official sense, but just in Pokemon White version. Because I enjoyed looking up the moves that Pokemon can learn. I looked up Starmie and I thought, oh, Reflect type. That looks like an interesting move. Reflecting the type of your opponent. So I thought, well then, most attacks would then become not very effective. Then you could set up some cosmic powers. Then you could use stalled power. Or even Scold, so that you can hit dark types. You could even use Minimize, so you can rarely be hit. So yeah, Starmie for me, Water Psychic is cool. And so Starmie's design, and Shiny. Starmie's and Staryu Shiny are excellent. So it has to be Starmie for me. For you, Ronnie, you go for Vaporeon. Nice. Cloyster, all day. That fella is so cool. Quite literally being part ice type, Jake. Cloyster's physical defense is crazy as well. Yeah, Cloyster is definitely a very cool Pokemon. First roadblock for you in red, blue, yellow. Hence you recall it so strongly. Yes! Roadblock as in because you found it difficult to defeat or because you didn't know how to evolve it. You were leveling it up and it just wasn't happening. Is that why? Also, I'm trying to think what Staryu and Starmie's sprite would be from Generation 1. Because it was quite a limited range of party sprites then. That's what I mean, not the battle sprite, but... So I feel like any sprite that it would have been wouldn't have suited it so well. I'm trying to remember. I remember playing Generation 3 and seeing the individual mini sprites for the first time and thinking, wow. That blew my mind. Maybe because you chose Charmander. Oh, I see, because you were just right in terms of the Misty Gym battle. I see, Wormseye. Yes, that would make Starmie stick in the mind. Yeah, so interesting the choice of Bulbasaur, Charmander and Squirtle in Generation 1, because it's kind of an inbuilt easy, medium, hard setting, at least for the first two gyms. Charmander, of course, is weak to both rock and fire. Bulbasaur, super effective against them both, and Squirtle, good against Brock, but not so much Misty. But yeah, Starmie. Come on, let's get an Emerald encounter. There we go. Cooking up a tanky Starmie for 2025. Oof. I could make a nasty Starmie. I don't think it gets Reflect type anymore. Because I remember looking into this in Generation 8 and being disappointed that it no longer got Reflect type. But yeah, still, such a great Pokemon. Staryu and Starmie, though, aren't in Scarlet and Violet, so maybe Generation 10, we'll have to see. I wonder if in Generation 10 we'll be able to catch them all again. I wonder if we'll be able to get access to all 1,000 plus Pokemon. It'll be even more at that point, with more Pokemon introduced in Generation 10. That would be cool. Quite a task, but it would be cool to catch them all, I mean. Starmie Shiny is so pretty, Sabrina. Agreed. Most water types have the surfing spray. Yeah, you're probably right, Jake. You're probably right. Probably was that little seal-looking Pokemon. Cool. Alright, Leaf Stone. Vileplume, Victory Bell. Anything else from Generation 1, if we're limiting it to that? Any other Leaf Stone evolutions? Well, you've got Tangler, that doesn't evolve. You've got Venusaur, obviously not. Let's level up. You've got I'm sure I'm forgetting some grass types from Generation 1. But yeah, Victory Bell or Vileplume, I think those are the only two Leaf Stone evolutions in Generation 1. For me, it's Victory Bell because I played Pokemon Blue in Generation 1. From what I recall, Victory Bell is a bit more offensive, which is a lot of fun. I think it's a great shiny too. I just prefer Bellsprout to Oddish for some reason. Vileplume, Victory Bell are it. One's like, yeah, I agree, but as in, I think that is also the case. But Victory Bell or Vileplume for you. And for anyone else in the stream. It's disconcerting how far away that 6 is from the 7 in the number. I don't know why. Looks like there's such a gap there. Victory Bell would be your preferred. You had red, but Vileplume never caught your attention. Fair enough, Wormseye. There we go. Upping that 6 to a 7, and suddenly it's so much closer. Anyone else? Victory Bell, Vileplume? So for me, for those original elemental stones, let's say. Leaf Stone, Victory Bell, Firestone, Ninetales, Waterstone, Starmie, Thunderstone, Jolteon. So that means Grass, Poison, Water, Psychic, Electric, and Fire. Pretty good spread in terms of types. Vileplume for you, Sabrina. Nice. Nice. I remember seeing a nature documentary and there was a feature on the plant that Vileplume is clearly based on, because it was just exactly like the flower on top of Vileplume's head. Pretty noxious plant, no wonder it's a grass poison type. I can't remember the ins and outs of it now, but it's I think it's pretty foul smelling in real life, that plant. Yeah. A plant that you need to approach with caution, certainly. But I remember finding that so exciting. Seeing that plant in real life. On a nature documentary, it was on a screen. But What would I think about a Pokemon that evolves like Eevee for the evolutions that doesn't exist yet? So what, you mean if there were to be a Pokemon like Eevee that can evolve into multiple different things, Jake? Because, yeah, there's a lot of potential for that, but also Eevee kind of has that corner of the market covered, right? Eevee is such a fan favourite. It's hard to imagine another one like that can evolve into multiple different things. But thank you for confirming. I guess you could have like a chameleon Pokemon though. Sort of like a Kecleon type thing that, you know, when it evolves it loses the ability to change type or colour. But it does gain different types evolution. In fact, it could be Kecleon. Oh, for the types that Eevee doesn't have. That's interesting. I think it'd be really cool to see in a future game different typed evolutions of Kecleon coming in. I feel like Kecleon hasn't been in Generations 8 or 9. It's not in 9. Pretty sure it's not in 8 as well. Or not in 8 either. Interesting. In terms of the types that Eevee doesn't have, so what exactly are they? They are rock, they are poison, they are ground, rock, poison, ground, flying, bug, normal. I guess there's no normal Eevee evolution. I was talking about that in chat or in stream on Friday. How funny it would be if they'd introduce an evolution of Eevee that was normal. It's, you know, bigger Eevee, essentially. Ghost, fighting, steel, dragon. Yeah, still quite a few types that haven't been covered. You'd sort of want to find some kind of animal that represents all those specific types best. Because steel, fighting, rock, ground, they all seem like of a kind to me. We technically had the normal evolution of Eevee, Gigantamax Eevee. Yeah. Good point, Wormside. But it wasn't evolution. It wasn't evolution. Rafflesia is the type of plant. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you for reminding me the name of the plant that Vileplume is based on. I appreciate that. Rafflesia. You can also get them in Animal Crossing just for a random fact. Thank you. Appreciate all trivia and random facts. So thank you, Sabrina. Love a bit of trivia. And we've got Moggy in chat. Hello. Welcome back to the stream, Moggy. Always good to see you. How's your weekend been? Anyone else who hasn't told me how their weekends have been yet, do let me know. I've had a really lovely weekend. Spent time with my brother, spent time with sort of extended family, watched some sport, pretty productive as well, editing and getting other things ready. So yeah, had a good one. How's everyone else's weekend been, and how has your weekend been, Moggy? Always a pleasure to see you. Eevee's like a cat, so maybe the other could be a dog. Yeah, true, true. Four-day weekend for you, of course, Mogyo, yeah. Glad you've had a long weekend, that's brilliant. But, of course, felt short. Always goes so fast. Always faster than we're anticipating these long weekends. You got your comfy as well, congratulations, Mogyo. That's fantastic. Shiny Comfy is such a cool shiny. Speaking of shinies, We're approaching 26,000, everyone. Woohoo! We are more than 3 times over odds. And we will continue with Safari Zone hunting until we get a shiny on future streams this week. Oops, would help if I was in the grass on leaf green. Kangaskhan, not shiny, unsurprisingly, and a Pinsir. So I got a 1% and a 4% encounter. I imagine at some point we've had Kangaskhan and Chansey on screen at the same time, as in Chansey in leaf green and Kangaskhan in fire red. Which is quite cool in itself. You still believe I can get it for 30,000? Well, thanks, Mogio. Thank you. I really don't want to be, to be frank, I don't want to be doing Safari Zone hunting for too much longer because I've got so many other quests planned that would be really cool to get going with. But what an incredible start to my streaming journey has been, streaming Safari Week. Made all the more incredible thanks to all of you lovely people in chat and supporting the stream. So thank you. And thank you for sending out those shiny vibes, which I hope you're all doing. Very much appreciate it. Thought that Pinsir was blue for a second, Mogio. Wow. Oof. That would be such a find. One of those big bug Pokemon in Fire Red Leaf Green. Quintessential Safari Zone find, that. Of course, as always, place your bets in the chat as to what's going to shine first. I've gone with Houndour this time in Emerald. Rani's expecting a shiny Venonat. Let me know. Sabrina, who was my first shiny? Yours was a Diglett in Platinum. Ooh, didn't know what shinies were at the time. So does that mean you ran away from it, Sabrina? I hope you didn't. That happens to plenty of people. Looks, especially because Diglett is a very similar shiny, it's just that blue nose instead, so I could fully see you running away from it. Would be unfortunate, but totally understandable. So my first shiny, my first random shiny outside of the Red Gyarados, of course, in the Lake of Rage, was in Pokemon Silver. I started a new playthrough. There I was in the early routes, leveling up, or I think I was heading back to Cherry Grove for some reason. I'd done the that first fetch quest. So I had Pokeballs, fortunately, but for some reason I seem to remember backtracking. And my first shiny... So, this Kakuna comes across the screen, and then the silhouette disappears, and it's green. And the shiny sparkles appear. And having already played through Silver at this point, I did know what shinies were. So fortunately, I did catch it. And it evolved into Beedrill. I know that some people don't evolve their shinies, especially back in the day, because they couldn't be sure that it was still going to be shiny. But I did, and of course, the Beedrill continued to be shiny. And it was so exciting. It was so exciting. Because you hear about the Red Gyarados, and I think there might be an NPC that mentions on that route heading to Ice Path, which we were talking about earlier. We were talking about favourite routes. And someone mentioned that as their favourite. Can't remember who now, I apologise. But I feel like there might be a trainer on that route who says differently coloured Pokemon are prized for their rarity or something like that. But other than that, I feel like there isn't really any information as to the fact that there are other shiny or alternately coloured Pokemon in the game than that Red Gyarados. And I love that. It really boosts the allure of these shiny Pokemon. So yeah, it was Kakuna. And so I've had a soft spot for Kakuna ever since. Also, I like those Cocoon Pokemon because they represent potential, right? Shelgon 2, obviously Metapod, other various Cocoon Pokemon. Pupitar. And I think that's really cool. And you did catch that shiny Diglett, Sabrina, because he had a blue nose. Blue heart. Love that. I'm glad you caught it. So you caught your first random shiny, and you got it in your first Pokemon game, I believe, with Platinum. Was that on your very first playthrough of Platinum as well, Sabrina? I'm trying to think where Diglett even appears in Platinum. Do you remember where you were when the Diglett popped up? Quite literally, from the ground. Metapod was one of your old favourites? Yes, Metapod's shiny is red. Very cool. Very distinct and striking. There we go. Anyone else who wants to chuck in their first random shiny to the chat, do go ahead. Meanwhile, let's round out the evolutionary stones from Generation 1 by asking about the Moonstone. So, your favourite Moonstone evolution from Generation 1, and your options are Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Clefable, and Wigglytuff. I believe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Clefable, and Wigglytuff. For me, it's tricky. I say Clefable, you know. Because again, going back to that Generation 5 and exploring competitive before being aware of the official circuit or anything like that. As well as that Starmie who I built with Cosmic Power and Minimize, etc. I raised a mean Clefable. Let me tell you about this Clefable. Its moveset was Minimize, Cosmic Power, Stored Power, and Flamethrower. Flamethrower just so it could deal with steel types better. But of course, Minimize, you're boosting that evasion. I think by Generation 5, Minimize boosted evasion by 2 stages. Cosmic Power boosts your defenses, so even when they do hit through the Minimize boosts, you're not taking much damage at all. Stored Power is a move that gets more powerful the more boosts you have to your stats. No matter what they are. And Flamethrower, again, so I had some type coverage. Because, of course, Stored Power being a Psychic type move, Dark types took no damage from that. It was pretty brutal, that Clefable. Again, I never really battled against anyone outside of the game. But it was great in the... there was that battle tower-like facility in... I can't remember the name of the city now, but it's where you also have those sports pitches. Oh, I'm sure I could remember the name of the city if I thought long enough about it. But the sports pitches where you can rematch either American football players or baseball players. There was another sport that went on there as well, maybe tennis as well. So, yeah, lots of fond memories from using Clefable. So Clefable would be my answer for that. But for you, Mogyo, Nidoking carried you. Yeah. Nidoking, very popular choice, especially for Generation 1. Also, really liked Clefable back then, even though it was still normal, but you're saying Nidoking. Yeah, I really like the normal type, to be honest, Mogyo. I think it's an underrated type. It's in my top 5 types. Clefable for you, Sam. Nice. Which leads me on to my next question, having mentioned that. What are your top 5 types? Now, might require some thought, and that's fair enough. Take your time. My top 5 types would be Ice, number 1. I always like trying to make the Ice type work, even though it's pretty frail. I just love Ice type designs and how offensive they can be. I've just always connected with the ice type for some reason. My second favourite type is Bug. Again, I quite like the challenge of trying to make Bug Pokemon competitively viable, but especially like the Route 1 bugs. And Ledyba, of course, I have a soft spot for my target in Emerald this Safari Week, or Safari Fortnight, as it now has become. Third place for me is Water. Squirtle was my first partner Pokemon. Excuse me, in Pokemon Blue. And yeah, just lots of water types I like. Fourth would be Dragon. It's just a really cool type. I also love the notion that dragons are quite difficult to raise. I like that challenge. I also love how Bug and Dragon kind of counterbalance each other, because Bug you find very early on in the game, easy to raise. Dragon is the opposite of that. You find them late in the game and they're harder to raise. And then Normal is my fifth favourite type. Because it's underrated. I love how unique it is as a type. Doesn't hit anything super effective. Only has one weakness. Immune to Ghost. Yeah, generally I just think Normal is a type that's often overlooked, and I don't think it should be. So yeah, my top 5 types are Ice, Bug, Water, Dragon, Normal. Ice, Bug, Water, Dragon, Normal. How about all of you? So, first of all, yeah, Ronnie, your favourite Moonstone evolution, that's exactly what we were talking about. And it would be Clefable. Well deduced, yeah. Cool. Of course, Clefable is now Fairy type, so it's Clefairy. An interesting change for it. Yeah, my experience of using Clefable really goes back to the days when it was a normal type. So Steel is your favourite type, of course, Mogio, and then Ghost, then Grass, then Ground, so totally different from me. Yeah, Water or Electric for number 5. I mean, totally different from me so far with that. And then Water, potentially the same, but it could be Electric. Interesting. Would love to know your reasonings for these as well, Mogio. So Steel, then Ghost, then Grass, then Ground, then Water or Electric. Nice choices. Rani, Fairy, Normal, Ghost, Flying, Water. Good to see some love for the normal type there. Fairy, that makes sense, with Togekiss being your favourite Pokemon. Normal also, obviously, has some pretty cute Pokemon there as well. But, as we know, Rani, you're about more than just the cuteness, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. And 26,000 encounters. Let's go. That action was full steam ahead, pulling on the whistle of the train. Full steam ahead. For a shiny! Approaching 3.5 times over odds. Well, a bit premature to say that, I guess. In a couple of thousand encounters' time, we'll be 3.5 times over odds. Mogio believes we'll get it before 30,000. I'm inclined to agree. So let's see. Anyway, so top 5 favourite types. So, Fairy, Normal, Ghost, Flying, Water for you, Ronnie. Cool, good options. Yeah, Flying's a great type. Lots of potential there, especially because you rarely get pure Flying. I mean, Tornadus was, Rookie D is, until of course it gets that Steel typing. So it's often paired very interestingly with types. I believe I'm right in saying that Flying was the first type to be combined with every other type of any in the game. Or was that Water? It was Water or Flying. Either would make sense. For the reason I just said about Flying, but for Water because it's the most populous type, I believe. Anyway. Sam, water, flying, ghost, psychic, fairy. So some real similarities there with Ronnie. Water, flying, ghost, psychic, fairy. Interesting. Interesting considerations. Seeing our first psychic shout out as well, which, psychic, might be my 6th favourite type. I don't know. Haven't thought about number 6 onwards, actually, so much. Jake. Your top 5 types are Flying, Dark, Rock, Psychic, Bug. Ooh, good to see some Rock love coming out there. And Dark, too. Yeah, Rock's underrated, I think. I love Nose Pass. I love Soul Rock, Lunatone. I'd love to shiny hunt Soul Rock, Lunatone on the Equinox at some point. That's something I have in mind. Flying, Dark, Rock, Psychic, Bug. Cool. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining, we are talking about our top 5 types. Very interesting. You can see some of the answers in chat currently. For me, it is Ice, Bug, Water, Dragon, Normal. In that order are my top 5 types. Yeah, and if you're enjoying the stream once more, please do give it a like and drop a sub. Would hugely appreciate it. Thank you. If you want the fun to continue outside of stream, then you can join my Discord community, Chazingdra's Chocolate Factory, linked down below. I've got my podcast that I do, Chazingdra Chats, where we take a deep dive into the life stories of people in the Pokemon community and discover the 6 Pokemon on their dream team along the way. All sorts of vlogs on the channel. I've got my socials linked below, along with my Patreon and that Discord that I mentioned. So much Chazingdra goodness to get involved in. So, either way, really appreciate you all being here in Safari Week. We're shiny hunting in the Safari Zone, or where the Pokemon can run away. We're still yet to find a shiny, and we're more than 3 times over odds. So that shiny, surely, it's going to come relatively soon. But appreciate you all hanging out with me this Sunday night as we try and find a shiny of some sort. So, top 5 types. Ghost, Fairy, Grass, Normal, Fire for you, Sabrina. Ghost, Fairy, makes sense with Mimikyu. Grass, Normal, Fire. Nice. I remember thinking, before we had, you've got Grass and Fire there, Sabrina. I remember, before we had any Grass Fire dual types, theorizing about a Dandelion that was a Grass Fire type. So, literally became a lion, and it was a plant, so grass, but then secondary type fire with that fiery mane that a Dandelion yellow flower has. Excellent type considerations here. So, Rookity, Corvusquire, and Tornadus, yeah, the only pure flying types. Makes sense. And Arceus Silvally, of course. Mogio, yeah, good point. Jake, you're a fan of elegant Pokemon designs. You feel like those types offer uniquely creative spaces. That's a really interesting way of putting it, yeah. Elegant Pokemon designs. I'm a fan of that as well. I think that's partly why I like the Ice type, actually. I remember Ice moves in Generation 3 for the contest, mainly falling under the beauty category. And yeah, I think a lot of Ice designs are really beautiful. They say a shiny comes when you least expect it, but at this point I'm kind of expecting every round of encounters to contain a shiny, so that's not good, is it? That could mean we never get it. You love the Dandelion idea, Sabrina. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased. Yeah, I was pleased with that, coming up with that when I was younger. I think I might have drawn it at some point as well. I remember coming up with an evolution of Ditto when I was younger as well, called Ditot. Which, if anything, sounds like it should be a baby form, Tot. But, yeah, also, I don't know what it offered that Ditto didn't. But, yeah, just fun coming up with... letting the imagination run wild with what Pokemon's provided for us. Appreciate the 3 exclamation marks you put there as well, Sabrina. Appreciate that love for the dandelion idea. Which leads me on to my next question. To build up the suspense. I'm going to do another round of encounters, and then I'm going to hydrate. Because again, I need to keep reminding myself to do that. My next question is about what we've just been talking about, really. What Pokemon did you theorize when you were younger? Which designs did you come up with? What do you think? Oh, this could be a cool idea for a Pokemon. Or not even when you were young, you can do it now if you like. Think, can't believe there's no Pokemon of that animal or thing or plant yet. I've told you about Dandelion, I've told you about Dittot. And Jake, speaking of Sunflora, they could use an evolution that gives a secondary fire typing. Oh yeah, that's true. Now, I believe the original Sunflora they came up with for Generation 2, it wasn't too different from how it looks now, design-wise. But Sunflora used to be a grass psychic type. And then for whatever reason in the final games, it was pure grass. But that's a really cool idea, Jake, yeah. And I wonder what an evolution of Sunflora would be cool if it had a fire secondary typing. Glad to see that you support that idea as well, Sabrina. Sunflora... Sunkern, Sunflora, so it's probably going to have to start with Sun. Sunkern, Sunflora, Sun. I guess it depends how it would look, right? But a bit like the Ogerpon Hearthflame mask. Maybe it alternates around its head yellow petals and red ones that are more fiery. Sunflora. Ooh, that would be cool. Sunflora. Or, because Sunflora is pretty similar to Sunflora, maybe Sunkern can evolve into either Sunflora or Sunflora. Because then you've got a little bit of a pun going on with Flower too. Surprised we didn't get some kind of Sunflora evolution in Paldea. I know what you mean. Pretty integral to the storyline. Mogio. Yeah, exactly. Artisan worshipping them. Yeah. Cool if that led to an evolution of Sunflora. Some kind of showing it that reverence. Thing is, there are so many Pokemon now that have such lore built up about them that maybe they will never have a new evolution, even though it could happen like with Sunflora. Because, having said that though, of course we had the Dunsparce in Generation 9. And that for me was always the quintessential Pokemon that was never going to get an evolution. So all bets are off, really. What would be the name of this Dandelion Pokemon that I was theorising? Dandelion, its mane is fiery, but it's a plant. Some kind of pun on Dandelion. Hard to think of some kind of fire pun that can be made with dandy. Or even fiery words beginning with D. Tough. But yeah, any love that Sunflora with a part fire idea. Any other suggestions like that? For Pokemon that you've theorized in the past, or you're theorizing right now? They could be completely original, they could be evolutions. You're going to head out, Ronnie? Well, no worries at all. Thank you so much for joining. Next stream... I should have checked my diary before coming on, actually. But... possibly tomorrow, actually. Possibly tomorrow. It'll be soon, anyway. But possibly tomorrow, Ronnie. So, hope to see you there. Probably start around the same time, 8 PM. If we were to find a shiny tonight, I might not stream tomorrow just to get things set up for what I do next. But maybe I still would. Maybe I'd start on the Silver Dream Team quest or something like that. But thanks so much for joining, Ronnie. And always a pleasure to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sleep very well. Have a very merry rest of your day, I should say. Hope to see you tomorrow. Glad you enjoyed Inside Out too. Thanks so much again. Always good to see some love in the chat for just polite farewells or welcomes, etc. And welcome if you've just joined, everyone. I am Charlie Merriman, Merri by name, Merri by nature. And you join me in the Safari Zone, where my merriment is being put to the test, let me tell you, by the Safari Zone. Safari Week ended last week, but we're still here trying to find a shiny. Because we have 0 shinies so far. And we're more than 3 times over odds. I've got so many other plans for quests and things to stream that I don't want to start until we find 1 shiny in the Safari Zone. And hopefully this drought is just paving the way for some amazing luck coming soon. Some shinies in quick succession. Don't know. We'll have to see. But always a pleasure to hang out with you all. Various fun links in the description below, including to join my Discord community, Chazindra's Chocolate Factory. So, see you there. Jake, you've always wanted a Pokemon that evolves into either Lunatone or Solrock, depending on the time of day. Oh, that's cool. That's a very cool idea. I hadn't thought about that, Jake. Yeah. Yeah. Sort of like a Minior sort of thing. What would it be? Maybe it would be a rock sort of based on a star. Which I guess Minior is. That makes sense. And what would that Pokemon be called? Solrock, Lunatone. We need another... Well, hello, the Bee Assassin. Good night indeed. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You are very welcome, my friend. How have you come across the stream? Was it recommended on YouTube? Are you from X, or do you follow on X? Are you a competitive player? Are you a shiny hunter, etc.? Welcome, James. Just read your message there. Yes, hair getting more dishevelled. The longer it takes to find a shiny. Yeah. But I'm glad you like my hair. That's very kind of you. How's your weekend, James? I bet the weather played havoc with the cricket like we were talking about on Friday. But I hope you had a good one. My brother came home this weekend, which was a lot of fun to see him. We were celebrating his birthday early. And it was quite productive as well. Saw some extended family. Been a lot of fun. But how was your weekend? And thank you so much, James, for sharing that love. Yes, all likes, subs, etc. Hugely appreciated. And the Bee Assassin, yes. Welcome to the chat. What's your favourite Pokemon? How have you come across the stream today? Would be interested to hear. Big cricket win. Nice. Good to hear, James. Very pleased, very pleased. Good shout, James. Yes, we did. We played through Metal Gear Solid. And it was great fun. Great fun. We've nearly beaten the third game. But we were at the very, very, very final moment. So we'll see how the rest of that pans out. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, thanks. And we've been talking about all sorts of things tonight, James. We've been talking about favourite, from Generation 1, favourite Pokemon that evolved with the stones. So favourite Firestone evolution, favourite Thunderstone evolution, etc. We've been talking about what your gym challenge would be if you're a gym leader. We've been talking about which of the two in the paired versions did we choose. Talking about our top 5 types. Yeah, all sorts. And most recently we've been talking about if you were to design a brand new Pokemon, what would it be? Or ideas you've had over the years. I was talking about a dandelion Pokemon idea I had. So a dandelion flyer that's a grass dandelion... a grass fire dual type. That's based on a dandelion flyer, of course, the main, so to speak. That yellow flower is where the fire comes from. You like Lotad. Ah, yes, your profile picture. Nice. Yeah, Lotad is very cute and cool Pokemon. Such a good sitting cutie as well. A lovely size. It's very friendly. Chilling out. Very cute. Yeah. So any answers to any of those questions, the Bee Assassin or James, do let me know in the chat. So, we'll be streaming for about another half an hour. Will we have the pleasant surprise of a last minute shiny? We could well do. It could happen at any time. Literally any time. There's no rhyme or reason as to when shinies appear. So, you have the Lotad sitting QC. Nice. I'm not surprised to be Assassin though. A lot of love for Lotad coming out from you. Yeah, it's a great sitting cutie. I also personally prefer the Lotad line to the Seedot line. They're both very cool. Grass Dark, very interesting type combination, but Grass Water, fascinating too. In fact, before Ogerpon Wellspring in Generation 9, have we had another Grass Water? I'm not sure we had. Yeah, such a cool type combination. Yeah, the Bee Assassin, how have you found the stream today? As in, literally, how did you find it? Was it recommended on YouTube, or do you listen to the podcast that I do, Chazingdra Chats? You're a shiny hunter? Have you been doing Safari Week? All of these questions. Answer whichever you please. Also, place your bets as to what's going to shine. I'm thinking it's going to be Houndour. Water, Fighting, Psychic, Normal, Steel for your top 5. Interesting. We've got a lot of love for the water type. Makes sense. Being the most populous type. Fighting, Psychic, Normal, Steel. Interesting to see the fighting type up there as well. You looked for the stream. Oh, cool. Thanks, Sabrina. A pleasure to have you in the chat. You and Sam. So thank you for seeking it out. Really appreciate it. I hope you've been having a good time. You all make it so much fun streaming, so thank you so much. Take the pain of no shinies. And you suppress it. So thank you. And you're still going for the Teddy, Mogyo. Yeah, well, there's Teddy right there. Not shiny, we don't have that gummy bear. I'm saying it's going to be Hound Hour tonight in Emerald. Welcome everyone if you're just joining. We're going for another 25 minutes or so. And thank you, Sabrina. Hoping the shiny comes soon. Appreciate it. It's got to, right? It's got to. 3 times over odds. You listened to the podcast episode. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. I'm very pleased that the stream was recommended for you and you listened to the episode I did with Matt. I hope you enjoyed that. Such a pleasure talking to Matt. Really inspiring conversation to have with him. And I appreciate that you listened to it. And I hope you enjoy plenty more episodes of Chazingdra Chats. Because there are so many on the channel. Perhaps with Quick Panic, for example, another shiny hunter. You a shiny hunter yourself to be assassin? Or are you a casual Pokemon player? What's your background with the game? Did you enjoy the podcast episode I did with Matt, the Bee Assassin? I hope you did. Such an interesting dream team that Matt came up with as well. That's how the podcast works for anyone who's unfamiliar. Talking about the life stories of people in the Pokemon community and discovering the 6 Pokemon they choose for their dream team. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy tuning into the episodes at some point. I know, we found 4-ish shinies for knowing what they were. Crazy, crazy. What luck. I remember when he sent over his notes to me before we recorded together. One of his topics was just crazy luck. And that's what he certainly had. Yeah, and of course part of the reason why he's a shiny hunter today. Just trying to reclaim them and had such fond memories when he was younger. Nostalgia is such a massive part of Pokemon. You kind of shiny hunt, but you don't stream at the moment. Fair enough. I assume you mean shiny hunt. Welcome everyone if you're just joining. All sorts of conversation we've been having tonight, like top 5 types. If you're a gym leader, what gym challenge would you have? What kind of thing? Something entirely new, or something based on previous challenges, and also favourite gym challenges from the games. Which of the 2 paired versions we have played, or is our favourite for each generation. Favourite evolution from each elemental stone. That's one we did. Quick fire, choice between 2, for example. We've been talking about Pokemon that we've theorised over the years, brand new things. Oh, it'd be cool if that was a Pokemon sort of thing. So yeah, all sorts going on. We're approaching the last 20 minutes of the stream now, so perhaps we will be blessed with a last minute shiny. Because we're 3 times over odds, and yes, we're still in the Safari Zone for Safari Week, which ended last week. Because we still don't have a shiny, and it feels wrong to leave the Safari Zone without one. So, hopefully we'll find something soon. Keep your fingers crossed. Please send me a shiny luck. Jack, welcome to the chat. Always a pleasure to see you. Yes, well done on your tournament today. For anyone who's not aware, Jacreprid here in the chat Was playing in a Pokemon competition today. Had a decent win-loss ratio. Seems like a pretty decent start to the 2025 season for you, Jack. So congratulations on that. You learned you need to make good plays. Yep, they're fairly crucial. Fairly crucial, Decrepit. In competitive Pokemon. But hey, the only way to learn is by competing like you did today. So you're taking all the right steps, my friend. I hope you had fun, that's the main thing. Hope you had a fun tournament. Did you have fun today, Jack? I very much hope you did. So, you did enjoy the episode of the Bee Assassin. I'm very pleased. You like how he put Butterfree on the team. Imagine the solo run. You've watched that run like 3 to 5 times. Yeah. I always revisit lots of Matt's challenges and videos. Matt Absol blogs Pokemon, who I spoke to for episode 12 of Chazingdra Chats a couple of weeks ago at this point, which you can find on the channel if anyone's interested. My best performing video so far, way over 1,000 views at this point, and just thrilled that people have been connecting with that episode. Which solo run do you mean? Did he do a solo run with a Butterfree, the Bee Assassin? I'm trying to remember. I don't recall it, but he may well have done. And James. New Pokemon will be a Black Panther Pokemon. That's very cool. Dark Normal. Special ability Jungle Hunter, whereas Evasiveness gets a 50% bump in grassy terrain. That's cool. That's a really cool idea. That's very well thought out. That makes total sense. On lots of levels, James. Nice. Any other ideas for brand new Pokemon that we'd theorise? Do chuck them in chat. Always fascinating to read. Panthor. Dark Electric. Wow. Panthor. That's really cool. Love that. Technically, you can say you were the first person to place 22nd in a VGC Cup. Hey, that's true. Nice way of thinking about it, Decrepit. After the changes coming into effect for the 2025 season, love to see that. Love to see that positive thinking. First person to ever place 22nd in a VGC Cup. I believe it was an in-person local. You can't win them all, exactly. Can't win them all. The gameplay videos, exactly the Bee Assassin. And Fire Red. So Butterfree solo run in Fire Red, that's really cool. Over lockdown, I set myself all sorts of monotype challenges. Bug in Leaf Green, I think it was. Maybe that was Fire Red, actually. Water in Soul Silver. Dragon in Emerald. Love monotype runs. So I'll probably stream some at some point. Manchester Cup, yes, of course. Exactly, Mogio. Love to see that positive thinking. Only out from here, 100%. For Decrepit on their competitive journey. I can't remember if it was 24th or 22nd. Well, fair enough, Decrepit. Fair enough. First person to get that place in the VGC Cup. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We'll aim to get up to 2,000 encounters tonight, so that would be, I believe, 26,606. Flying type running Gen 7 is by far your favourite, Jake. Interesting. What made that your favourite? Sounds like a lot of fun, Jake. Oh yes, the Manchester Cup results online. I haven't seen the results actually. Very exciting though. The first ever video game cup. Because, of course, previously they were called by different things. Called by different names. Must have been a really good atmosphere, Jack. How was the atmosphere, though, when you attended? So many questions. Lost a lot of money today. Your train got cancelled. Oh, no. That's so frustrating. The important thing is you went and attended and you played. So, well done. Well done, Decrepit. You stuck to your plan. You're going to dive out. Fair enough. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, James, for the kind words. That's so kind of you. Huge difference to the legend that is Charlie. You're too kind. But thank you, James. I'll see you very soon. And have a good night, my friends. Sleep well. Still not used to the name changes. Yeah, understandable. Well, it's very early days, very early days. I have no doubt that come September, we'll all be so used to it by that point. Sam. You haven't had any good Twilight Masquerade pulls yet, Decrepit. Oh well. Oh well. Matter of time. The more you pull, the more chances you have of a great card. Just like the more encounters you have, the more chances you'll run into a shiny. A lot of different Pokemon to choose from and a variety of weaknesses. So the... Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, there are loads of flying types, aren't there? And that's interesting. Variety of weaknesses. Sounds good, Jake. Yeah, sounds good. I prefer doing runs through the more classic games, to be honest. Up to probably Generation 4. Generation 5, though, as well. I remember treating myself to that game after A-levels, which is the sort of final round of school exams that we have here in the UK. So I would have been about 18. So yeah, definitely a soft spot for Generation 5. But I only came to the later... Well, Gen 6 and 7 I came to much later, and then Generations 8 and 9 I know better, probably, than 6 and 7. What you'd like to believe. No, it is Decrepit. It is only up from here. You get better by playing more events. Don't you worry. September, you'll post your team. That's when Regulation G ends. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I hope the team works out for you well. And good for you for not sharing it yet, Decrepit. You keep those cards close to your chest. It's not TCG, but you keep those cards close to your chest until the time is right to reveal them. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting still to do monotype runs. But yeah, I do like that challenge. And nothing quite like the nostalgia of the older games for me. Need to get back into Regulation Set Gmod Yo. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Have your local in a few weeks. Oh, cool, Mogyo. Cool that you're attending. What restricted do you think you'll run for that local? If anyone's unfamiliar in chat or in the stream, Regulation Set G, the current competitive format for the Video Game Championships, which we will be using for the World Championships in August. You're allowed one restricted Pokemon. In other words, a sort of... box art legendary, so to speak. All the very powerful end games, so like Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, etc. Including all the way up to Koraidon and Miraidon and Terrapagos. So yeah, big question. The choice of restricted on the team. What are you thinking, Mogyo? I believe, Jacrepid, you said you are going with Terrapagos. Which is an excellent choice. I think there's a lot of merit behind that decision. Lunala or Zamazenta. Cool. Yeah, Zamazenta was a lot of fun when I was trying out Zamazenta. Body press stuff. I'm a huge fan of Zamazenta. I had Pokemon Shield, so I always had that soft spot for Zamazenta over Zacian. And of course, Zacian was top dog in Generation 8. Zamazenta was the underdog. But now, with the Stockholm Regional Championship win, bit of a top dog itself. Hasn't had such success since Stockholm, but still, a lot to recommend it. Your current goal is win a regional top 4 UIC so you can book world flights and stuff when the dates get revealed. Wow, good. Good to have your sights set high, Decrepit. Hope that all works out for you. But also, remember to treat yourself kindly, right? It's a very difficult game compared to Pokemon. It really is. And, you know, just little incremental increases go a long way. You can aim first to, for example, have a positive win-loss ratio at an event. And then maybe aim to day 2. Then maybe aim to top cut. You know, build it up like that. But, as I say, definitely good to aim high. Have those aspirations. First local of the season in a couple of weeks as well. Good luck, everyone. Yes, thank you for chucking the luck into the chat, Sam. Yeah, good to see some competitive people hanging out here as well. There's so much that these games have to offer. So it's great to dive into so many different aspects with you all. You love Zamazenta's glow up. That's a great way of putting it, Mogyo. Zamazenta's glow up in Regulation Set G. You're no VG player, Jake, but if you were to run, you would run Calyrex Shadow Rider. Yeah, definitely strong. It's put in some really good showings in Regulation Set G. It's won 2 regional level events. So a good choice. And Jake, even though you're not a competitive player yourself, do you enjoy, out of interest, watching the broadcasts of events when they happen? Just as, you know, way to keep your interest up in Pokemon in general. You can shiny hunt to it or do other challenge runs to it, casual play Pokemon to regional level event streams or, you know, even bigger level too. Because I know that Matt Absol blogs Pokemon, for example, of course, who the Bee Assassin and I were talking about earlier, will have the regional streams on in the background or special event streams on in the background while doing other things. Just because it's interesting to see how the competitive scene is faring. Maybe Shadow... Wait. Calyrex Shadow Rider, there we go. Easy to swap the words around. We'll go ahead and win worlds. Maybe it'll be Terrapagos. Maybe it'll be something entirely new. Who knows? We'd love to see Lugia win worlds. Can you imagine? Love Lugia as a Pokemon Silver fan. Huge fan of Lugia. And hello, Generation 2 generally. Yeah, whenever your opponent doesn't have many answers to anything on your team, that's a nice position to be in. But you can snowball so quickly, as of course, more literally, can Calyrex Ice Rider. Hope not to stay stuck in the same spot. You've been in the same little spot since Stockholm. What do you mean? Your team loves Calyrex Shadow Rider. Well, what do you mean stuck in the same spot there, Jet? You watch VGC content. Oh, okay, but you don't like those. You've always enjoyed battling singles. Fair enough, fair enough. But cool that you keep up your interest in it, Jake. by watching the streams, even though you don't play yourself. And then one day, maybe, you'll feel empowered and inspired to give it a go. Very much hope you do. You can't remember Mogyo, but Terrapagos didn't win any regional special events. So, not in NA or EU, Mogyo. But it did win the Japan Nationals. And I think it did. It won a regional somewhere else in the world. And I can't remember where that was now. Yeah, it has won a regional, or might have been a special event elsewhere in the world, but it wasn't NA or EU, and I can't recall it, but it definitely won the Japan Nationals, which is huge. I remember in Bologna, Marcus Statter and Lee Provost, fellow commentators, were really excited for Terrapagos and think it has a huge amount of potential. So I could see it going all the way and winning Worlds, to be honest. After the showing it put in Bologna as well. It didn't win, it was Calyrex Shadow Rider that won that, but Terrapagos did still do so well. You could see Kyogre do well as well. And Groudon, Pokemon that have been so good traditionally, competitively. Just haven't quite found their footing in Regulation Set G at this point. Kyogre more literally, because it doesn't have feet, but you know what I mean. Welcome everyone, if you're just joining. We are really in the last 5 minutes of the stream now. We are probably going to get up to 26,606 encounters, because that will make it 2,000 encounters exactly tonight. So maybe we'll have some last minute shiny joy. Let's find out. Thanks so much for chilling with me, everyone. Your score has been the same, and it sounds like different scores, but only because there's different round amounts. Sure, okay, yeah. You'll build on that, Decrepit, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Top cut at almost every Regulation Set G event. Yeah, that may well be right about Terrapagos there, Decrepit. Yeah, Terrapagos can be a bit position-based, I guess. I mean, that goes for everything. But what was cool seeing it come out in Bologna was the psychic noise strategy that some people were going for. For example, running psychic noise on Frigoraph instead of psychic or any other damaging psychic move, Psyshock, because then Terrapagos, when it has full health, has its Terra Shell intact, and that means that any incoming move is going to be not very effective. Whatever it is. As long as it's at full health. And so if you can heal with leftovers and then grassy terrain, for example, get it back up to full health, then you restore your Terra Shell and take not very effective damage once more. So then you can set up more Calm Minds, or if you're choice specs, just go all in and dish out damage. Which is very cool. So people were using Psychic Noise, and Psychic Noise, after it hits, prevents that Pokemon from healing for a couple of turns, and so Terrapagos is left much more vulnerable. Really cool strategy. Yes, that's a good point about Stockholm Top Cut, Jack. I remember that too. Doubling up on some restrictors there. Psychic Noise is so cool, isn't it, Mogyo? Could have had Zama versus Zama finals. Yeah, Zama Zenta. Zacian has been picking up a bit as well, you know. So people have feel like they've found its niche in Regulation Set G, which is very cool. Thought that Nidoran female might have been shiny though. It wasn't, of course. My bet is on the Houndour if we find a shiny tonight. And if we do find a shiny tonight, it's going to have to happen in the next 20 encounters. 20 encounters! So 5 more encounters on each of these DSs. And Game Boy Advance SPs. Mogyo sticking with the shiny Teddy. I know that Rani voted for Venonat. Fire Red, let's see. No. We're approaching 26,600 here. We're going to get a last minute shiny. We're in Safari Fortnite, of course, because Safari Week ended last week. This is day 14 of streaming. Are we going to end Safari Fortnite with a shiny, or are we going to go into a third Safari Week? Kangaskhan and Chansey. Hey, there's that at least. 2 1% encounters on Fire Red Leaf Green. That's pretty cool. We'll take that. 26,606 as well. Can you imagine if one of them was shiny? I'm going to take a picture of these. Chansey and Kangaskhan. 2 1% encounters at the same time. Very cool. Anyway, that's 26,606. We're going to do a bonus round of 4, because I always do. Let's get up to 26,610. Safari month incoming. Jake. Please no. Please no. I really want to move on to some other quests. But let's see. Final round. Nidoran, Rhyhorn, Magneton, Teddiursa, no. Still no shiny. However, let's check to see if we've got Pokéros at least. Pokéros, which is actually rarer than a shiny, believe it or not. Fire Red Leaf Green. Does not look like it. It's not there. How about in Soul Silver? Do we have Pokéros? Nope. Alright, last chance. How about Emerald? Last chance for Pokéros. Doesn't look like it. Oh no. Well, there we go. We're going to head into a third week of Safari Week. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but that's the way it goes. And that's the way it is, because we've now surpassed 14 days with no shinies in Safari Zone hunting. All sorts of future streams planned though. Silver Dream Team quest. Some kind of challenge run with the Pokemon Violet DLC, which I have untouched. Very exciting. Don't know if that'll be a shiny run, monotype run, or what. And challenge runs, beating entire games with just one Pokemon, all those sorts of things. But first, we need to find a shiny in the Safari Zone. So, thank you all so much, everyone, for joining. Always means so much, and so exciting to see you all here and just hang out with you. You really do make it all so much fun. You made the time fly as well. Nearly a 3-hour stream tonight, and has seemed like so much less than that. So many interesting topics of discussion. So thank you all for getting involved. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. They really do go a long way. And all my socials are linked below. X, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Along with... so do give a follow if you want to keep up with me outside of streaming and content creation. Always so much going on, be it casting events, etc. So I would love to see you over there. Got my Discord community down there if you want to keep hanging out off stream, you know, sharing shinies and Pokemon adventures and challenge runs, etc. We have trivia spaces in the Discord too, Pokemon trivia or anything beyond it. It's just always a pleasure to hang out with so many interesting people, so I would love to see you there. Got my Patreon links below as well if you want to support me as a creator, and you get access to bonus Chazingdra Chats content there. Chazingdra Chats is my podcast, and in the bonus content, it's the Rapidash round of quickfire questions that the guest hasn't prepared for. Chazingdra Chats is a show where we take a stroll through the life stories of people in the Pokemon community, discovering the 6 Pokemon on their dream team along the way, and that's always a very illuminating thing. Got so much content coming out or planned. My vlog of Bologna, for example, the special event that I cast at the start of June, that should be out relatively soon. Been making some graphics for Chazingdra Chats, which I'm excited for you all to see. Thanks so much for being here. If you're new to the streams, everyone, Sam, Sabrina, very pleased to have you here. Hope you can all tune in. Hope to stream next tomorrow, actually, so hope to see you there. Probably 8 PM UK time tomorrow. I'll let you know if that changes, but that's certainly my plan. So it'll be fantastic to see you all there. And otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. I will see you during it, I'm sure, on the streams. And always a pleasure to see you. Let me just catch up on these final messages here. So, thanks for chucking in your good nights, Jake, the Bee Assassin, Sabrina, and Sam. Week 3 incoming, exactly, the Bee Assassin. Yeah, hopefully shiny next stream. And thank you, Moggy, for chucking in good night as well. So, everyone, thanks so much. Wonderful to have such a supportive Chazingdra community growing. And with that, have a very merry rest of your day.